Right now at noon, Pittsburgh commissioners vote whether to renew the contract of a controversial license recognition camera for the city.
And we've got cooler temperatures today, still above average, and some of these clouds hanging around. We got to look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, Shasta Power delays solar farm survey results in Crawford County despite a moratorium deadline.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
A stabbing outside a Joplin homeless shelter lands one man behind bars. This is KOAM News. I'm Samantha Walker. Brian Gutierrez faces felony assault and armed criminal action charges after police say he attacked another man with 2 knives outside Water Gardens on Kentucky Avenue on Monday. The victim flagged down a patrol officer while bleeding from his chest. Officers found Gutierrez still at the scene with both weapons in his right hand. Surveillance cameras at the shelter captured the altercation. Gutierrez denies stabbing the victim. He remains in the Jasper County Detention Center on a $100,000 bond. Now let's check in with Chris Warner for a look at the forecast.
Again, we've got some clouds out there today, and we are still, like I said, we're a little cooler than where we were yesterday, but still above normal. Live look downtown Pittsburgh looks all right. MoDOT camera, 20th and Range Line in Joplin. See those clouds, see some sunshine. That's what we call mostly cloudy. And we see a gentleman safely crossing the street. That's the right thing to do. Always cross at the crosswalk. Yesterday started the day there, well above normal, but didn't quite make it to record levels, upper 60s. And again, ahead of the front, we did some pretty decent warming, but that's still 20 degrees above average. And above average is the trend for the next several days. We're already above average in many cases, 50 in Joplin, 48 in Pittsburgh. A look at the temperatures around the region. Yeah, we're sitting above average there. Look down south, though, already into some mid-50s. Jay, the warmer spot there at 56. Got some cooler spots up north and Fort Scott, the cool spot at 46. Though temperatures not too much colder than yesterday because, again, our northwestern counties at this point were already far enough behind that front. But for those that weren't yet, that's a big dip. We're about 20 degrees, 25 degrees cooler now than where we were 24 hours ago. However, again, still above normal. And that's the big thing is even with the ups and downs in our temperatures over the next several days, each of them will still be above average. We're looking at about 50 by 7 o'clock tonight, rolling down to the low 40s by 11, a mix of partly to mostly cloudy skies and our gusty winds easing up and transitioning out of the southeast after midnight. We're going to start to see some rain chances later this week. We'll talk about that and the roller coaster ride of temperatures in just a few more minutes. Samantha?
Thanks, Chris. Pittsburgh police will continue using what some consider controversial license plate recognition cameras as the city commission votes to renew the city's flock safety contract. The decision comes just weeks after the city of Joplin fired an officer for misusing the same technology. The Pittsburgh PD says it uses the cameras to capture only license plates and vehicle information, not faces or personal data. The department says it also conducts regular audits to prevent misuse. Police defend the technology, pointing to significant results since installation, more than $600,000 in recovered stolen property, 32 recovered vehicles, 8 seized firearms, and 60 arrests.
The Pittsburgh Police Department has policies and procedures in place when officers and investigators are allowed to use the flock safety software. So we're guided by our policies and procedures. We also do internal auditing to ensure that they're being used appropriately.
The 2-year renewal consolidates Pittsburgh's 2 existing flock contracts into a single agreement, covering all 32 cameras. Last night's decision simplifies billing but does not increase costs. The annual price remains at $103,500, the same as the city currently pays for both separate contracts combined. This fee is paid through the public safety sales tax. Pittsburgh City Commissioners delay a decision to purchase new budget software, saying they want to see more options before spending nearly $50,000 in taxpayer money. During the City Commission's January 27th meeting, City Manager Darren Hall blamed the use of Excel spreadsheets for creating conflicting budget and in a costly tax error last month. To correct the mistake, commissioners voted to lower the mill rate for property owners. The proposed ClearGov cloud-based software would replace the manual spreadsheet system the city has used for years, but it isn't cheap, costing a little over $34,000 a year and $1,500 setup fee. Well, Miami school bond issue succeeds on its second try as voters approve a $15.7 million measure that narrowly failed last fall. Voters passed the measure yesterday with 66% in favor, clearing the required supermajority needed for approval. The bond funds critical safety and facility upgrades with no projected tax increase. The proposal keeps the mill rate at 29 cents per $100 of assessed value, while paying for new exterior walls and secure doors at Nichols Elementary and a new playground at the Will Rogers facility. District leaders called this election a second chance to address essential safety needs that couldn't be put off any longer. Well, Crawford County Commissioners held a meeting yesterday expecting to hear survey results from Shasta Power regarding a proposed solar farm. Despite Shasta imposing a February 12th deadline to lift a moratorium on solar development, the commission was informed that a representative from Shasta would not be present and that the survey results are not yet finished.
I feel that they will come back. I don't doubt that one bit. Whether they will have that, the surveys and numbers, that remains to be seen, but I'm sure there's more questions that need to be answered.
In a statement provided to KOAM, the Shasta representative apologized for not being able to attend and cited a preference to wait until undecided neighboring homeowners can make a decision. He has not given an exact timetable for that to happen. Well, the Missouri Department of Conservation proposes new regulations to combat chronic wasting disease in deer populations. Most Missouri counties see less than 1% of deer infected with CWD each year, but the disease continues to spread. One of the proposals is for the department to remove an extra 5 days of firearms deer season. Well, coming up, the Trump administration is trying to dominate AI by fast-tracking permits for data centers, but it has communities concerned. And later, we're making a creamy spinach stuffed potato in the Mr. Food Test kitchen. The Trump administration is trying to supercharge the race to dominate artificial intelligence by fast-tracking permits for the data centers needed to power AI. But many homeowners are saying not so fast, concerned about the impacts of these massive centers on their communities, an issue that hits home even here in the 4 states. As Natalie Brand reports, the debate is becoming a political issue in local elections.
Greg Pirio bought his home in the Northern Virginia suburbs more than a dozen years ago, never imagining this would be his neighbor.
You had no idea you'd be investing right next to a data center?
No clue whatsoever.
It's one of around 200 in Loudoun County, considered the data center capital of the world and essential infrastructure in the AI race.
We're leading the world in AI by a lot.
President Trump has signed executive action to fast-track federal data center permitting and try and limit regulations.
This is like a second industrial revolution in the United States.
But Pirio says neighboring homeowners have concerns about noise and air pollution, rising electricity costs, and what it will mean for their property values long term.
That's where our savings are, where we have our generational wealth.
Do you want more of these in your backyard?
It's an issue that Democratic Delegate John McAuliffe believes helped him flip his Virginia State House seat last fall.
Folks are waking up.
He says he will push for legislation to make sure residents don't foot the bill for data centers and their energy use.
I think it's an important industry. I'm not saying they should all get out and leave. But I am saying that if you're going to come into a community and you're going to take resources out of that community, then you have to be willing to give back to that community.
The data center industry is committed to being a responsible partner in the communities where they operate.
Dan Diorio of the Data Center Coalition, which advocates for the industry, says companies are committed to covering their costs. He also argues the projects have benefited communities, bringing jobs and local revenue. And he says the demand isn't going away.
Digital infrastructure is the backbone of the 21st century economy. Increasingly, it is an essential part of ensuring the United States' global economic competitiveness, and it's a national security imperative. This is all of our data. We want it stored here.
But with construction booming nationwide, those living closest to the issue say they want more oversight. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Loudoun County, Virginia.
Well, still to come on KOAM News at noon, Mr. Food.
We've just created a new way to turn ordinary baked potatoes into extraordinary ones. And it's so simple, you're not going to want to miss it.
And we are tracking some shower and thunderstorm chances as we head into the upcoming weekend. The full look at your forecast when we come back.
Here's your Skywatch weather forecast from the trusted Roper Kia Weather Center.
Back to the KOAM News at noon. It is Wednesday, halfway through the work week, and whether you're doing anything for Valentine's Day or not doesn't matter. We're all halfway to the weekend, and so some good news there. Unfortunately, it's going to rain, but Mother Nature gifting us her own kind of love, because our drought situation, as you know, is not good, and we do need this rain. So let's talk about right now first. And there's that live look from downtown Pittsburgh. We got some sun, we got some clouds, we got more clouds and a little less sun. Therefore, it is, of course, mostly cloudy. Taking a look at the future track, and we talked about it this morning, it's picked up on the clouds now, but it still has them vanishing by this evening, which is not going to be the case. So we're going to remain partly to mostly cloudy, depending on where you are, as we go through the rest of the evening and into the overnight hours. And we head into Thursday, clouds still expected to increase again if we don't see much clearing. If we do see some clearing, then they'll increase. But we'll have those mostly cloudy skies once again for our Thursday. Again, in the afternoon, it's a low chance, but we could get a couple of showers, maybe some sprinkles up in our far northern counties. Really, the US 54 corridor, right around that and points north are the slightly better chance, but it's a pretty low chance as it is. We might get a little clearing on Thursday, and then clouds will begin to thicken back up as we go into Friday. Now, our morning shower chances on future track have disappeared. We'll say just for the sake of things, because things change so fast and so often, we'll leave that chance there, but we're looking at a lower chance now for those morning shower chances. But we are still waiting later in the day, about 4 or 5 o'clock. It starts small, and then we start to see more development of showers and thunderstorms as we head into the late night hours Friday and early Saturday. So now this data goes all the way through at least 5 a.m. And you can see by Saturday at 5, showers, thunderstorms along and south now of the 54 corridor. As I've mentioned, while we have the energy in place for some thunderstorm activity and some heavier rain, at this time we do not have enough energy to cause these storms to intensify. So we're not looking at a severe threat at this point on Saturday, but this is the start of our shower and thunderstorm chances. And for Valentine's Day, those heading out, you're going to need the umbrella, and you're going to need to keep it handy, because it will continue to stick around throughout our Saturday. So here's those chances again Friday night into Saturday morning. So we run out of that data at 5, so we're going to go beyond that. Scattered showers, thunderstorms will continue through the day. Again, the best chances are in the southern 2/3 of our area, but all of us will have that chance for at least some kind of rain. But of course, that means also that the heavier rainfall, the more meaningful rainfall we could get, will be in the southern half of our region as well. But we all at least will have that chance. Now, as we go late Saturday and into early Sunday, shower, thunderstorm chances wind down. They are on their way out of here, and skies will gradually begin to clear as we head into Sunday afternoon. As for today, again, upper 50s for most of us. Down south, you're a little warmer, so low 60s, not out of the question. And those northeast winds still occasionally gusting upwards of 20 miles an hour. Overnight tonight, again, partly to mostly cloudy skies, upper 30s for most of us. So again, it's chilly, but it's still above normal. And we'll have those southeast winds at about 5 to 10. As we go into our Thursday, those winds will transition out of the south, again, heading into the afternoon. Really along and north of 54, a couple of showers possible. Most of us dry, mostly cloudy skies, upper 50s, low 60s, so maintaining that above average trend. And this is what I mean. Temperatures came down for today compared to the last couple of days. They're going to go up a bit, and they're going to go down. They're going to go up a little more, and then they'll go down again. But in every case, these numbers are all above average. That's the trend, regardless of how much cooler we get. So, low 60s tomorrow and Friday. We go into Saturday, showers, storms, low 50s out there. As we clear out Sunday, here comes some warmer temperatures back into the low 60s. Could even potentially reach the 70s again by the middle of next week, with another little drop by next Friday. But even that little drop, again, still above normal into the upper 50s. So at least some of us going to get some much needed rain heading into the weekend. I know it stinks for Valentine's Day, but the bigger thing is we need that rain, and temperatures at least staying mild across the area for quite some time.
Yeah, definitely need the rain. At least it's not snow and ice. I think it's how most people are thinking.
I'm perfectly fine with some rain versus the snow and ice.
Well, thanks, Chris. Stick around. We're making creamy spinach stuffed potatoes in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. We'll be right back. This is a new take on classic baked potatoes. Howard is showing us how to make his creamy spinach stuffed potatoes in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
You know, a few weeks ago, a group of us were out for dinner. And as soon as our meals came, a friend of mine spooned his cream spinach over his baked potato, and then he mixed it all together. It looked pretty interesting, so I asked him if I could taste it. And I have to tell you, it was pretty darn good. So good that it inspired us to come up with an easy version just for you. It starts with 6 russet potatoes that we baked until they were tender. After they cooled slightly, we cut off about a ½ inch on the top and scooped out most of the potato, leaving about a ¼ inch of a shell. Now to that, we add some butter and a few seasonings and give that a good mix. After it's smooth, we add a package of frozen cream spinach that we thawed, along with some chopped roasted red peppers. Once this is mixed, we spoon the filling back into the potato skins. Then we pop them into the oven until they're warm through and the tops are golden. They're fancy enough to serve for Valentine's Day, yet easy enough to dress up dinner any night of the week. I sure hope you'll go online and get the recipe for our creamy spinach stuffed potatoes so you can enjoy them as much as we do. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a new and exciting way for you to say, ooh, it's so good. What do you think?
You can find this recipe along with a lot more good food from the Mr. Food Test Kitchen online. Just go to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Now here's a look at the 4 state market prices.
All right, again, we're doing all right temperature-wise. Even with some of these cool downs, we're still above average. A couple isolated showers up north possible tomorrow. Same Friday morning, then a few more late Friday heading into Saturday. Showers and thunderstorms possible across the area for Valentine's Day. Nothing severe, but definitely a little cooler and definitely a little soggy out there, so keep the umbrella handy. Temperatures going back in the 60s and 70s heading into next week.
And we need the precipitation, so
we do.
Not a bad thing, really.
Well, thank you, Chris. What do you have coming up for us tonight?
A lot's coming up at 5. For starters, a dangerous fungus is spreading across hospitals and nursing homes nationwide. That superbug has become more virulent. That's a hard word to say. And it's also resistant to antifungal medications. Now experts are saying early detection is the key. Plus, we're going to learn more about a proposed Kansas bill that would introduce the licensure of anesthesiologist assistants. And area high school students gather at Pitt State for the annual Automotive Skills Competition. Hope you join us for those stories. A lot more, of course. It's coming up today. KOAM News at 5.
Well, those all sound great, Dow. Thank you so much. That's the news for now. And thank you for joining us for KOAM News at noon. Have a great afternoon.